What are the dangers of Enochian magic? If you start to look into Enochian magic, which is a system of magic that John Dee and Edward Kelly received from their angelic communications in the late 1500s, you will find two statements kind of surrounding it. The first statement, it works. The second statement is it's kind of dangerous. So you might not want to engage with this without proper guidance or something like that. And so in my own practice, I have found that yes, indeed, it works. And what does that mean? Well, it means that when I have engaged with the Enochian language by studying it, I engaged in a path of study with this material. When I started building the holy table and the ritual implements, my dreams shifted. I started to have communications with celestial beings in my dreams. It was a very strange and interesting experience. They provided guidance about how to work with this matter. And so it works. You might also think of it like you open the telephone, right? And if someone's saying hello on the other side of it, the telephone's working. And in that way, this works. So the other thing people say about this, and before we move on, actually, I do want to, if you're skeptical about whether or not it works or anything like that, try it out. Really, just try it out. And you may or may not want to try it out because of the second thing they say, which is it's dangerous in a way. So what are the dangers of Enochian magic? Well, people will communicate, oh, something interesting happened, something paranormal happened. The most coherent statements about its dangers might involve invoking an apocalypse, the Christian apocalypse, and inviting these nefarious forces or demonic or daemonic forces into our world to wreak havoc. And so this is something like what people might say about Aleister Crowley's working of the Enochian rituals through in the last century, and how he may have actually opened the doors to forces that brought about the world wars or something like that. And that just seems actually too ridiculous for me to consider, right? That a single man could invoke this sort of thing. Much rather, I would expect that it is something like the fruiting body of a mycelial network, and that Aleister Crowley was an expression of his zeitgeist, the spirit of the time, and therefore, if there's any correspondence between his working and the horrors of the 20th century, it is just because both the horrors of the 20th century and the working of Aleister Crowley was indeed expressions of this deeper spirit of humanity in that time. And so when you're invited to engage with the Enochian apocalypse working, it is from the point of view of understanding that you yourself are an expression of a deeper unity consciousness, that you yourself are but like a tip of the iceberg, and the iceberg is the collective unconscious, the higher self, and all these different aspects of who you are as a being of divinity, right? A creator being having an experience. That leads us to the other aspect of the dangers of Enochian magic. So oftentimes, the more reasonable understanding about the dangers of this magic is that it works with the mind and it works with the soul and the energy body in a way very similar to, say, Vajrayana Buddhism. It's a magical practice used to awaken the mind to its true reality as enlightened activity. And so people will often say it brings up your stuff, right? Like whatever stuff you've got unresolved, it will bring up those things and you'll have to face it. And that's the danger, is actually connecting in with yourself. Right? And so it's only dangerous if you have an experience of yourself as a nightmarish creature or as being stuck in an experience. It's truly actually not dangerous. And I would in fact consider that it is dangerous to not engage these paths if you are interested and open to waking up to your true nature as this being of unity consciousness, as this being who is having an experience, this creator divinity being, God, goddess, spirit, earth, whatever word you want to use, you are that, having an experience here in this dreamlike world that we call waking reality. And so if you engage these paths, it will bring you to a deeper reality. It will bring you to a deeper resonance with your own truth. And that ultimately is not dangerous. That ultimately is useful here and now. So I want to thank you for your courage in approaching these matters and approaching this path of magicality, this path of self-initiation, the path of waking up from this nightmare we are in into a deeper resonance with the peace, love, and unity consciousness, this enlightened activity that you are. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for risking the dangers of having uncomfortable experiences, of discovering you are not who you think you are. And that's really ultimately what the dangers are of Enochian magic, is that you will see truly who you are. And I actually believe you can handle it. I believe anyone here, anyone listening to the sound of my voice, can handle it, right? Because you are actually enlightened activity. You are God. You are the source of magic, having an experience. And so there's no way that you can encounter something that is ultimately dangerous to your true nature. And I would invite you to explore that path with the courage, based in that conviction. And if you don't have a conviction, just be open to it. Ask for experiences in your life that will deepen your conviction that you indeed are this source of magic, and there's nothing to be afraid of. You can do it. The world will respond. It works. That's what they say. It works. So thank you.